Are you tired of walking into the general session of an event you spent months planning and feeling underwhelmed? Well, let's get into it.
Welcome to the Event Pro Show, your ultimate guide to the world of corporate events. Whether you're a corporate event planner, experiential marketing pro, producer, technician, or anyone involved in creating exceptional events, this podcast is your go-to resource for valuable insights, expert tips, and inspiring stories from the industry's leading professionals.
Welcome to the Event Pro Show. I am your host, Seth Mackey. I am the CEO of LEMG. We're an event production company based in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we produce primarily corporate events all over the country, and we work with event planners a lot. And I wanted to design a series that would be helpful for people looking to elevate their general session. So welcome to part 2 of designing a better general session. And this episode is going to focus around how to make your general session look high end. And when I kicked off this series, I introduced the concept that, you could talk to 10 different production people, production professionals, and like any industry, you might get different advice on how you might improve something. So what I'm focusing on in this series is an issue that I'm hearing a lot budget is still an issue for many planners. So I'm trying to give ideas and concepts that you can go ahead and plug in within your current budget that you might be able to elevate the look and experience of your general sessions. I thought that'd be the most useful way of using this series to help you in your existing state right now, how to elevate within your current budget parameters. And so, as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, is how often have you put so much work into planning an event? You've got venue selection, you've got to pick food and beverage, you've got all the event rentals, linens, and all of those things. You've got attendees, how to get them there, how to register them, and all the ticketing and registration. There's a million different things, working with speakers, making sure that they're there, making sure that your education or your content is coming. You've got all these thoughts, and then you're working with an AV vendor to try to get a RFP out that encapsulates what you're trying to accomplish. Then you've got to get this entire budget approved. All these things going on, only to walk in on day one of general session and to feel like, I'm underwhelmed. Well, let's talk about a few ways that you can elevate the general session stage look. So from an AV perspective, many in-house AV solutions, these are the AV solutions that come with the venue that a lot of times the venue will try to encourage you to utilize. They center around order taking. So their employees are dealing with a high volume of events. They really want to kind of systemize what they're selling. And they're gonna sell you what you ordered, no more, no less. That it just is what it is. It's kind of an order taker kind of approach. However, when you work with a good outside AV company, they're going to be an advocate. So, for example, if you worked with LEMG, our staff would work with you to try to understand, first of all, what you're trying to accomplish. What do you want your attendees to experience while they're on site? What do you want them to walk away with? And then we're going to engineer in what the AV tools that would be appropriate to accomplish those goals. So we're actually working with you to spot any gaps or deficiencies in your planning or assumptions around the stage design. So on that note, let's focus primarily today on the stage design of the general session. So I wanted to talk about a few tips on how you might be able to elevate your stage within your current budget parameters. How can you make this thing look as good as possible with the amount of money that you're currently spending or thereabouts? And so we're in a highly visual industry in AV and in events. And so I wanted to just share with you some shots to give examples of what I'm talking about. So if you are listening to this podcast on Spotify or Apple Music or something, I will try to explain what I'm talking about. But you can also go to YouTube and watch our episodes there where you can see what I'm talking about here. So, my first comment on actionable things you can do today to elevate your stage look is just carpet the stage. This is something that a lot of people skip or don't think about. And once you do it, it's like, wow, that looks fantastic. That is a fantastic look. As long as it's installed nicely, a nice stage can elevate the look and feel of an event within all the photos, and you've got all your archival images and video later. It just looks really nice. It's a nice touch. And speaking of nice touches, pipe and drape can be something that is nice, but make sure that whoever's installing it installs it well. There should be no gaps. It should be even horizontally across the top. It should have fullness, what we call fullness to it, all those folds in it. It shouldn't be really stretched and thin. It should look really nice and installed well. And speaking of drape and carpet, you can branch outside of the traditional black. You can use colors they have all sorts of colors of drape. We try to utilize all sorts of colors to give different looks and feels and to brighten things up. And that's an important piece to production. That we don't always have to stay stuck in what we know, kind of branching out from what you've seen before. And I know a pipe and drape look is a standard kind of basic look, but it can look really nice and clean. Like this event here is a large event, and it was done on a specific budget, and it looked great on site, looked great on camera. But you don't have to stick with pipe and drape for your backdrop too. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but there's other options. So there are other options such as stretch shapes or AV drop. This is an example of a setup where it's actually a framed system that is stretched flat. And then there are screens that hang in the front of it, and it gives a really clean look. And it's not as expensive as an LED wall, but it looks really nice and clean. That type of a look. Another example of that is here, where this setup, the screens are actually kind of countersunk into the wall. This look has been around in Europe for a long time, but I'm seeing it more and more in the United States now. I've always loved this look. It's super clean, and it looks really sharp, and you can do your own branding. You can do your own video and all of those things within it. But that's a great way to elevate your look and something that's different and branded for your event. One other touch on a stage is hard set surrounds. So here we've got them all over this stage, but on the edge of a stage, a lot of times there might be a skirt, like a little black skirt that covers it. You don't have to just use a skirt. You can use a set piece that kind of cleans up the look of the stage and gives you like a flat surface on the front, which is a sharp upgrade. It's not that big of an investment, but that can elevate your look too. And don't forget about your downstage monitors. You can also cover those up in a nice hard set surround like this setup right here. And what we're looking at here is it's just like a flat white front of a stage, or your downstage monitors are covered. And from an attendee perspective, it really cleans up the look. It looks almost like a permanent install. And so we always recommend this when you're trying to elevate the look. And one thing that I want to say last is don't be afraid to fly things. And I said that on my last episode too. And I want to make sure that people understand what that means. Way early, I've been in production for, I don't know, over 25 years now. Early on, it seemed like we were able to put a lot of things in the air with truss and motors. And it was wonderful. It worked really well. It cleaned lots of things up on the ground. But one of the results of kind of the spread and having a dominant competitor in-house nationally, globally, they do the in-house AV competitors tend to own that kind of rigging relationship. So they'll have motors and truss, and anything that touches the ceiling, they have to do. And so it tends to drive up cost. That's not always the case. In some venues, it's incredibly useful to work with. In some venues, it's really challenging. But why would you consider that? Well, when you have a ground supported system, it does save money of rigging in the ceiling, but it does create a big footprint on the ground. So you have towers that are holding maybe projectors or lighting trees, or even the backdrop of the stage could be on some sort of ground supported lift. This all eats up floor space. So in tight environments, in tight ballroom environments, or convention center environments, this can eat up valuable floor space that you need for attendees. And so by rigging and flying things in the ceiling, you're cleaning up all those cables, and all that technology goes up in the ceiling, and it's not on the floor, and you can do a lot more with that floor space. It gives you a lot more flexibility. So if you're able to be in a venue where this is doable for your budget, I would highly recommend it. It's something that it's a solid upgrade that elevates the look and feel. And it's something that we used to do a lot more. And it's become unattainable in some venues, but some not. So consider it. So I will say the reason I could talk about this all day with somebody about little ideas that they could improve their setup. I would always be happy to walk through an event setup with someone and talk about, hey, how can you improve this next year and make it even better? And that's one of the most exciting things. Is it's exciting to watch as annual events grow from like a small setting to larger and more elaborate events. I've seen where a company has their very first all hands meeting in a office, like a office complex, and they just have a big room, and it grows into a bigger and bigger venue every year. That's an exciting thing. The company's growing. People are enjoying being there. The event gets better and better every year. That's fun. And so somewhere along that journey, starting to plug in these elements that start elevating your stage look. And then when you're ready to go even beyond that, there's much more you can do to create larger, more exciting production experiences, as long as it fits within the goals of your event. And so this path that you're on right now, growing your events, your event portfolio, this is why it's very important to have an AV partner that understands it. We produce many events a year with all sorts of levels of clients. And so we're able to kind of as wherever you are in that journey, we can offer the best solution at that time in your event's life, so we can help you with that. And it's not a transactional relationship. It's a relationship that you can support each other all along the way. So if you're planning a corporate meeting and conference and want a production partner that simplifies your AV process, visit lemg.live to learn more. We would love to help you. And if you've enjoyed this episode of the Event Pro Show, you can head to theeventproshow.com right now and catch all of our back episodes. I will give solo episodes like this where I give advice on AV production, how you can work better as a planner. Or our other episodes every other week, I introduce you to somebody that's adjacent to corporate events. They touch it in one way, shape, or form. And they're all experts. They're all incredible people. I'm super excited about the upcoming episodes that are coming, but we also have a great backlog of guests that have been a lot of fun and people that you need to know. So I would encourage you to check it out. Either way, thank you for taking your time with us today, and we'll see you on the next one. The Event Pro Show is a production of LEMG, video by Nick Barrett, audio and post-production by Prince Thompson. You can learn more about us at lemg.live.